Stage 1, you search for the mistake. You send a message at 7:12. Nothing dramatic. Question, a joke, something easy to answer. At 7:18, they come online. At 7:24, they post a story. At 7:31, they reply to someone in the group chat. Your message remains untouched. You read it again, not because the words changed, because you are searching for the moment you became easy to ignore. Maybe the joke sounded strange. Maybe the question was too direct. Maybe they opened it from the notification and forgot. You create explanations because the alternative feels personal. At this stage, being ignored creates confusion before pain. The silence is still new enough to feel accidental, so you investigate yourself, replay the last conversation, the way they looked away, the pause before goodbye, whether your story went on too long. You become a detective in a case where you are also the suspect. In person, it happens differently. You begin speaking. Someone talks over you. The conversation follows them. You wait for a gap to finish. The gap never comes. A few minutes later, someone asks a question your sentence would have answered. You consider saying that. You do not. You tell yourself it was probably nothing. That sentence begins appearing often. Probably nothing. The invitation that never came. The photograph everyone was tagged in except you. The plan you discovered after it happened. No single moment is large enough to accuse. Together, they begin forming a pattern you are not ready to name. At stage 1, you still believe attention is the natural state, and silence requires an explanation. So you keep searching for one. You do not yet understand that some people ignore you for reasons that have nothing to do with what you did. They are distracted, self-involved, avoidant, cruel, comfortable, or simply uninterested, but uncertainty hates empty space, so it fills the silence with your flaws. Stage 2, you begin monitoring everything. A message eventually arrives. Sorry, just saw this. You know they did not just see it. You also know proving that would make you look like you were watching. Say, no worries, there were worries. You simply learned they should remain invisible. At this stage, being ignored turns attention into surveillance. You begin measuring response times. Not intentionally, your mind keeps the records for you. Yesterday, they replied in 10 minutes. Today, it took 3 hours. Last week, they used an exclamation mark. Now the message ends with a period. You notice when their warmth changes by 1 degree. A shorter answer feels like weather. A missing question feels like a warning. You become sensitive to shifts other people would not register because other people are not waiting to disappear. In groups, you watch faces while speaking. Someone looks away. You shorten the story. Someone checks their phone. You abandon the point. Someone more interesting enters. I become quieter before they have the chance to choose them over you. This is how being ignored changes the body. You begin anticipating absence before it happens. You sit near the edge of the group. Speak only when the sentence feels guaranteed to land. Keep your phone visible, so if nobody talks to you, it looks like you chose to be occupied. You develop exits. I should probably get going. I have an early morning. I wasn't planning to stay long. The explanation arrives before anyone asks because leaving by choice hurts less than discovering your presence never mattered. At this stage, attention stops feeling enjoyable, feels temporary. Someone listens closely and part of you is already calculating when they will stop. Someone treats you warmly and you search for the reason. Do they need something? Are they only being polite? Did someone else cancel? You do not receive kindness. You inspect it. Being ignored has taught you that attention can disappear without warning. So even while it is present, you begin preparing for its absence. Stage 3, you become impressive. You decide the problem is that you have not given people enough reason to stay. So you become funnier, more useful, more agreeable. You enter every interaction carrying something, a story, favor, advice, energy, anything that prevents the room from wondering why you are there. At this stage, being ignored becomes performance. You stop asking whether you enjoy people. You ask how to keep them interested. You learn which version of yourself receives the fastest response. The funny version, the calm version, the one who never needs too much. You use that version until it becomes difficult to tell where the performance ends. A friend calls at midnight because their relationship collapsed again. You answer. You listen for 2 hours. When you begin speaking about your own week, they say they should probably sleep. You tell them it is fine. The next night, they call again. You answer again. Being needed begins feeling close enough to being valued. It is not the same thing, but usefulness produces a reliable form of attention, and reliability feels safe after silence. So you become the person people depend on, the ride home, the emergency contact, one who remembers birthdays, one who checks in first, one who keeps the group alive. You send the message, make the plan, restart the conversation. You tell yourself you are simply caring. Part of you is. Another part is afraid that if you stop generating connection, none will remain. That fear makes generosity expensive. You give more than the relationship can return, then blame yourself for feeling empty. You become entertaining enough that people laugh with you, helpful enough enough that people keep you nearby. Undemanding enough that nobody has to consider what keeping you costs. At stage 3, you are no longer waiting to be noticed. You are earning every second of attention. The room finally sees you. It still does not know you. Stage 4, you start removing your needs. Performance becomes exhausting, but losing people feels worse. So instead of asking for more, you begin needing less, at least visibly. You stop sending the second message, not because the first silence stopped hurting, because you cannot survive looking eager twice. Someone cancels on you for the third time. You say, "No problem," then spend the evening pretending you preferred being alone. Friend forgets something important you told them. You do not remind them. You decide remembering should have been natural, and asking would make the care feel fake. At this stage, being ignored becomes self-erasure. You learn that people stay longer when you require less from them, so you become easy. You do not ask why you were excluded. You say you were busy anyway. You do not mention that the joke hurt. You laugh before anyone notices your face. You do not say you miss someone. You wait to see whether absence affects them too. Often it does not. That teaches you the wrong lesson. Not that the relationship was unequal, that your feelings were excessive. You begin reducing yourself to fit the amount of attention available. A shorter story, a smaller reaction, a softer opinion, a need postponed until it no longer feels legitimate. People describe you as low maintenance. They mean it as a compliment. They do not see the maintenance happening privately. The conversations rehearsed but never started. The messages typed and deleted. The tears delayed until nobody can accuse them of being inconvenient. At this stage, silence stops being something people do to you. It becomes something you do to yourself before they get the chance. You ignore the disappointment, the anger, the part of you that keeps asking why everyone else is allowed to take up space. You think becoming smaller will make abandonment less likely. It only makes your disappearance easier to miss. Stage 5, you stop expecting anyone to notice. The change looks like strength from the outside. You no longer double text, no longer ask whether something is wrong, no longer chase people who become distant. You say you have learned your lesson. Part of you has. Another part has simply stopped believing closeness is safe. At this stage, being ignored becomes numbness. You begin leaving before anyone can overlook you. Someone takes too long to reply. You delete the conversation. A friend seems distracted. You decide the friendship has changed. A new person shows interest. You remain polite enough to keep them near and distant enough to survive when they leave. You call this protecting your peace. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is loneliness with better branding. You become good at appearing unaffected. A plan happens without you. You like the photograph. Someone forgets your birthday. You tell them dates are not a big deal. A person you care about stops reaching out. You stop too. Weeks pass. Neither of you discovers whether pride ended something that honesty could have saved. At this stage, being ignored has taught you a dangerous form of control. If you expect nothing, nothing can disappoint you. So you remove expectation from every relationship. But expectation is not only pressure, it is also evidence that you believe the relationship can hold weight. Without it, closeness remains decorative. People enjoy you. They do not rely on being known by you because you never let them know what matters. You begin confusing emotional independence with emotional absence. You are proud that nobody can hurt you easily. You do not notice that nobody can reach you easily either. The silence no longer surprises you. It confirms what you already believe. People leave, people forget, people choose what is brighter, easier, newer. You stop asking whether the belief is true. You begin behaving in ways that make it true. Stage 6, the numbness breaks. It happens in a moment too small for the emotion it releases. Someone interrupts you during a meeting. Usually, you would stop. This time, you do not. You continue speaking. They keep talking for another second, then realize you are still there. The room becomes uncomfortable. You let it. That is the shift. At this stage, being ignored becomes anger, not the explosive kind, the clarifying kind. You begin seeing how often you cooperated with your own disappearance, the invitations you accepted after being treated as an option, the friendships you kept alive alone, the conversations where you made yourself easier to overlook, then resented everyone for overlooking you. The realization hurts because it contains responsibility, not blame. Responsibility. You did not cause people to disregard you, but you kept teaching some of them that disregard would cost nothing. Now it costs access. A person disappears for 2 weeks, then returns with a casual message. You do not punish them. You also do not restart the relationship at full intimacy. Someone repeatedly talks over you. You say, "I wasn't finished." No laugh afterward. No apology for the tension. A friend invites you only when someone else cancels. You decline. They ask whether you are upset. For the first time, you answer honestly. Some people adjust. Others become offended. They call you distant, sensitive, different. They are right about one thing. You are different. The version of you they understand understood was built around tolerating what you were afraid to lose. Your anger dismantles that arrangement. It teaches you that peace without self-respect was never peace. It was silence maintained at your expense. At stage 6, you stop asking how to become impossible to ignore. You begin asking why you keep offering yourself to people committed to looking away. Stage 7, you learn the difference between solitude and rejection. The phone becomes quieter, not because everyone abandoned you, because you stopped keeping every door open. The silence feels larger at first. You mistake it for proof that setting boundaries made you unlovable. Then something unexpected happens. You begin hearing yourself inside it. Without constant performance, you discover which jokes actually make you laugh, which plans you enjoy, which opinions belong to you before you started editing them for the room. At this stage, being ignored becomes information. Someone does not respond. You no longer build an entire identity from the silence. You consider the pattern. Do they usually show care? Was the message urgent? Is this distance temporary? Or is the relationship built on you chasing it? You stop treating every absence as rejection and every return as redemption. Attention loses its power to erase evidence. A person can be charming and inconsistent, affectionate and unavailable, interested and still incapable of meeting you properly. You allow both truths to exist. That is maturity. Silence could not teach you while you were still begging it to end. You also begin noticing the people who never made you perform. The friend who asks a second question. The person who remembers the detail. The one who notices when you become quiet and does not force you to become entertaining again. These moments once seemed small because anxiety trained you to value intensity. Now they feel enormous. Consistency is quieter than neglect, followed by relief. That is why you overlooked it. At this stage, your circle may become smaller. The relationships inside it become real. You no longer need everyone to notice you. You need the right people to recognize you accurately, and you become willing to wait for recognition that does not require self-abandonment. Stage 8, silence stops defining you. You send a message. They do not answer. You notice. You do not collapse. You do not reread every word, searching for the moment your value disappeared. You do not send another version of yourself to correct the first. You let the silence belong to the person creating it. That is the highest stage. Not becoming immune to being ignored, remaining yourself when it happens. You can feel disappointment without turning it into shame. You can miss someone without chasing them into reciprocity. You can ask for clarity once without believing your dignity depends on the answer. Someone speaks over you. You reclaim the sentence. Someone overlooks your work. You name your contribution. Someone repeatedly treats your presence as optional. You stop offering it as though it has no cost. At this stage, attention is no longer proof of value. It is evidence of compatibility. The people who notice you are not automatically good. The people who miss you are not automatically cruel. But patterns matter. Effort matters. Reciprocity matters. You no longer romanticize being misunderstood. You no longer perform indifference to appear powerful. You become direct enough to discover what is real. I felt excluded. I need more consistency than this. I was still speaking. I don't want a relationship I have to carry alone. The sentences are simple because you are no longer using language to beg someone into caring. You are giving them the truth and watching what they do with it. Some people step closer, some leave. Their choice still affects your life. It no longer decides who you are inside it. You understand now that being ignored can reveal many things. Another person's priorities, their limitations, their avoidance, the quality of the connection, sometimes your own behavior. But silence is not a verdict. It cannot measure how interesting you are, how lovable, how worthy of a place in the room. It only tells you what happened in that relationship, in that moment, with that person. You stop turning one closed door into a description of the entire world. Somewhere right now, someone sends a message at 7:12. At 7:18, the other person comes online. At 7:24, they post a story. At 7:31, they reply in the group chat. The message remains untouched. The person reads it again, searching for the mistake, the joke, question, the word that made them easy to ignore. They do not know yet how many versions of themselves they will build trying to earn a response. The entertaining one, the useful one, the easy one who needs nothing. They do not know silence can become a mirror that reflects every fear except the truth. The truth is smaller. Someone did not answer. At one stage, that silence becomes evidence that you are forgettable. At another, it becomes a reason to erase your needs. At another, it becomes the wall you build before anyone can leave. And at the highest stage, it becomes information, nothing more. Being ignored changes you most when you believe another person's attention is where your existence becomes real. Freedom begins when the silence remains silent, and you stop using it to speak against yourself